This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel Strat-O-Matic Baseball XL Game of the Week.
Welcome back, baseball fans, to the game of the week in the 1980-83 Fall League. Here we are, folks, a new season of Fall League baseball. You know, the Fall League baseball is supposed to be a little bit looser, a little more wackier, a little more colorful and funny, and not as serious as the Summer League. And often you get more outlier results. For instance, let's say in the Summer League, we've had world champions, Baltimore Orioles. We've had the 69 Mets winning a World Series. We have the Pirates. We've had the Reds. We've had Oakland. I mean, we've had all the teams who won World Series in the early 70s, late 60s, pretty much win a World Series. Fall League is kooky, though, and seldom does the result match the actual historical comparison. Let's take a look at the schedule, and you'll see kind of why. So our schedule is something unique I wanted to do, which is strong divisional schedule. In other words, you play your division rivals 2 5-game series for 10 games versus an opponent, 30 games possible within your division, and then after that, just 4 other games across the league. So 30 of 34 games in your schedule possible against a division rival. That gives you 4 division winners and 2 wild cards. But you pretty much have just one way of winning your division, that's to beat your division rivals. And I've always wanted to try a schedule like this, and I experiment with different rules and things like that in the Fall League just to spice things up a little bit. Last year, though, the story was the Expos, the Burlington Expos. That's right. The Montreal Expos for the National League East were relocated into the National League. That's the World Series stats there. Yeah, they went 30-13 to the Expos. This is last year's final stats. And they beat the Phillies in the World Series. Actually, it's not even a World Series. It's probably the Super Series. I should call it something different to differentiate. Because we play this during Super Bowl weekend. And that's when you can expect the Fall League World Series this Super Bowl weekend in January, February 2025. Which gives us about a month or two before the Summer League kicks off. So that's how I do it. And Al Oliver was the MVP of the Expos with that great 1982 card. Led the club in average, homers, RBI, big hits throughout the year. But let's take a look right now at today's schedule and the games we've played. Right now, I've already started playing a lot of this schedule. As a matter of fact, when we go to the schedule one more time, I've already played the first, second, and third best of 5s for the division and the cross league battles. So we have the last 3 best of 5s before the playoffs, and that's what you'll be watching in the Fall League Game of the Week from now through February. So let's see what the standings indicate. Here we are. The Expos. Excuse me. They're 11-9 this year, coming off trying to defend their crown as world champions. And the Indians and Tigers having disappointing years in this timeline. The shocker is the Ohio Players, long-suffering expansion team that you followed in both the leagues, never has done a whole lot, but my goodness, they are off to a scorching hot start. This is actually the best era of the Expos, of the Ohio players, I think. They have Vida Blue, for instance, and remember we traded for Vida Blue in the early 70s. Well, he's still there in the early 80s. But today it's Tigers, Expos, and a best of 5. Let's take a look at what's happened. Game 1 in Detroit, the Expos win 5-2. Pitching duel between Steve Rogers and Jack Morris. It's a 1-1 game in the 9th. Morris hits the point of weakness. They go to the bullpen. Rich Murray steps in the box. Grand slam, ball game, 5-2. Visiting Expos, world champs, get the road win. But in game 2, Bill Gullickson, Milt Wilcox, the foot and was on the other shoe, something like that. Bottom of the 9th, Tim Stoddard is the Expo closer. He wasn't with them a year ago. Clearly struggling as a new closer on a new team. Trying to close out a 4-3 lead in the 9th inning, but he gives up 3 walks and a single. Bases loaded walk to Kelvin Moore. It's a 4-4 game. Then in the bottom of the 10th inning, Brad Havens comes in. And after a Reed Nichols single, Steve Kemp hits a walk-off 2-run homer. Tigers even a series game apiece. Game number 3. And Lake Champlain, home of the Burlington Expos, just 2-hour drive south of Montreal. The Expos wax the Tigers 10-zip. Charlie Lee beats Jim Cott. 4th inning, 3rd inning, it was walk, single, double, single. Then in the 7th inning, after an error and 2 outs, it is another grand slam, this one by Andre Dawson. They had 2 more in the 10th. Charlie Lee goes 7 innings with a shutout. Then they pull him because it's a 10-0 game. I hate to see that, a guy stick around in a 10-0 game just to get collect a shutout. Anyway, Expos win 10-zip. They lead this series 2-1, which brings us today. Expos, if they want to get back to where they were a year ago, they got to hope Ohio finds Earth. They're in the clouds right now. Assuming they're going to hit Earth with a thud at a certain point, the Expos want to chase them down. And the best way to do that is to win today in a Game 4. Your pitchers for the Detroit Tigers, it's going to be Rob Dressler, a free agent, 1980 Seattle Mariner, 4-10, 3.99 ERA, 149 innings. And he will battle the 4th consecutive right-handed starter of the Expos, joining Rogers, Gullickson, and Lee. We're talking, of course, of Scott Sanderson. 1980, 16-11, 3.11 ERA, 211 innings. Can the Expos finish off the Tigers? From Lake Champlain. Leading off for Detroit, it'll be Lou Whitaker. 66, double 1 to 15 is a double. Allen, have gun will trammel. 3-6 is a walk. Here come the Tigers. Right out of the gates. Barry Evans. 1-5, double to right field for the free agent. Trammell, 15 runner. Well, not. Actually, he will run off of Cromartie. And he's thrown out the plate. Oh, my. It's road field disadvantage. Have to run on a 14 or better. And he gets gunned down. Runner at second with 1 out now, and it's Steve Kemp. 54 off of Sanderson. Homer 1 to 14. It is gone. That is a 2-run homer. It's 3-0. Reed Nichols. 1-5. The Tigers. Let's look at another free agent. This is former Red Sox Reed Nichols of the 1982 Red Sox. Hit 302. And he's a fine, great throwing arm. Fine outfielder. 1-5. That is gone. It's 4-0. Glenn Wilson, 111. Grounds the 3rd. And with 2 outs, Mike Jorgensen, 48, single 1 to 11. He gets it. Lance Parrish, 1-5, single, 2 on 2 outs for Ron LaFleur. 57 is a K. Big inning for the Tigers. Notice all those free agents. That's what makes the Fall League exciting. There's a lot more free agent movement. I mean, Barry Evans, Reed Nichols, Glenn Wilson, Mike Jorgensen. I don't think any of these guys play for the Tigers, but they do now. 4-zip. Can the Spos come back, or we're going back to Motown? Leading off will be Tim Raines. 33. Pops the first. Andre Dawson, 2-5. Double 1 of 2 is a base hit. Not going to steal off Parrish. He and Gary Carter catching today. Both have -3 arms. Al Oliver, 69 off Dressler. Homer, 1-10. Double the rest, and it is gone. We got plenty of offense by the lake. Must be blowing out. 4-2. Gary Carter, 2-8 short. Cromartie, 44. Catcher's X. And Lance Parrish is a 2v3. Innings over. 4-2. Cut the lead in half. It'll be Lou Whitaker leading off again. 66. Double 1 of 15. It's base hit. Allen out. Gun will trammel. 1-6. Double 1 of 6 is a double. These Tigers are hitting. Second and third for Barry Evans. 53. Right X. Cromartie's a 3-9 in right field. It's a fly ball 9. No sack fly. Tough break. Second and third. Steve Kemp. 38 grounds to first. Runner holds. And Reed Nichols. 37's a K. They strand those runners. Bottom of 2. It'll be Larry Parrish. We have Lance and Larry, just to add confusion to this. Larry Parrish. 59 is a K. Brian Little, 69. Homer 1-10 double. He gets the double. Doug Flynn, 69. Triple 1-11 single. He gets the single and an RBI. It's 4-3. Stevie Ray Braun. We've seen him in the Summer League. He was on Arizona. Now he's an older pinch hitter in the National League. 39. Flies to right. And with 2 outs, it's Tim Purple Rains. 1-6. Triple 1-8 is a single dot. On the corners for Andre Dawson. 1-3 grounds to short. A lot of base runners in a 4-3 game. Glenn Wilson, 58, flies to right. Mike Jorgensen, 47's a single. Lance Parrish, 2-8. Homer, 1-8. Fly ball's a fly ball. And Ron LaFleur, 66, base hit. 2 on, 2 outs. This is the worst start of any of the Expo pitchers thus far. Lou Whitaker, 49's a walk. Sanderson, we're trying to chase this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. One more will do it. Allen Gunn will travel. Base hit center field. 1 run scores. LaFleur's going to run. And he's thrown out on a 20. Ron LaFleur thrown out by Andre Dawson. All right, so they get another run. It's 5-3, but yeah, we're at point of weakness for Sanderson. We'll probably let him pitch the 4th inning to save the bullpen, but short leash. Al Oliver, 49 off Dressler, second. Gary Carter, 1-4, center. And Warren Cromartie, 67, is a K. All right, it's Barry Evans. Forgot to put the R there for LaFleur getting thrown out the plate. There we go. We've had LaFleur thrown out the plate. And we saw Trammell thrown out the plate. This thing could be over. Barry Evans, 2-7 short. Steve Kemp, 2-8 second. And Wolf Nipples, 3-11. Flies 11. Flies left. We'll call it a day for Sanderson. 4 innings. He helped his bullpen. They only have to go 5. Bottom of the 4th. Just a 5-3 game. It's Larry Parrish, 47. Base hit. Brian Little, 2-4. Ooh, a 4-6-3 double play. And with 2 outs, it's Doug Flynn, 38, lines first. We need a new hurler. Someone to hurl. We're going to have Brad Havens come out of the Expo pen. Let's take a look at Brad. He was a Twin. 1981 Minnesota Twin. 3-6, 3.58 ERA in 78 innings. He had one season where I think he was like 2-17. He had a disastrous 1-loss record in one of his years. This is, or is that Pete Filson? I always get them mixed up. Anyway, top of the 5th. Just a 5-3 game. It'll be Glenn Wilson. 65, that's a double. Batting from Mike Jorgensen. It'll be Kelvin Moore. Tigers are on the attack still. 45, flies to right. Lance Parrish. 67, base hit in the center field, Glenn Wilson. 14 runner, will he take on the Dawson arm? 1-12, no. We'll hold. On the corners, up and hold Ron LaFleur. 49, sac fly to center. That's how you do it. You don't run out of the inning, you wait for the sac fly. It's 6-3, Tigers. And it's Lou Whitaker has reached every time. 63, short X. Brian Little's a 4-33 at short. And he commits an error. We have 2 on and 2 outs. For Tremmel, he has also reached every time. 1-8, Alan Tremmel's hot. Base hit left field. We're running Lance Parrish. Ooh. 9, 10, 11. What's the Rain's arm? Is it 0? Oh, let's run it. We got a 3-run lead. He scores on a 1. Lance Parrish. Got excited there, and he scores on a single from second. Whitaker ends up at third. Tremmel at first. 7-3 game. Barry Evans. 33 pops to third. After getting embarrassed, 10-zip previous game. Look at these Tigers. 7-3 lead as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Ah, yes. Quality mint tea. Good for the pipes. As we broadcast here in the bottom of the 5th. It'll be Stevie Ray Braun. And how long do you go with Rob Dressler with a 4-run lead? 69, homer 1-10. Another single. He doesn't have power. That's 3 times they ever hit that. They had a homer and a couple of singles. Homer's a single and a double thus far. Tim Raines. 1-7, double 1-6 is a double. Hey, look, Detroit, you don't have to let this guy qualify for a win if you want to get him out of there. And certainly don't blow a 7-3 lead to the world champs. Second and third, Dondre Awesome. 1-6, Andre Dawson. You got to let's take a look at the 81 Dawson card. 302, 24 homers in the year of the strike. Probably would have been the MVP. Well, I don't know. Schmidt was the MVP, and both of those had ridiculous 81s. So it would have been interesting to see how Dawson versus Schmidt would have played out over 162 games in 1981. Remember, that's Blue Monday 81. This is that great Expo team. So do the Expos prevail without a strike in 162 games? We don't know. But Dawson and Schmidt were co-MVPs, if you ask me. 1-6 is gone, and we have a 7-6 game. We'll let Dressler put one more man on before we hook him. How about that? Al Oliver, 55, pops to second. Gary Carter, 54, lines to second. And Cromartie, 410, lines to short. Well, let's hook him now. He gets a win if they hold it. 7-6 into the 6th. It'll be Steve Kemp. 2-4, second. Reed Nichols, 5-10. Catcher's X. That's Gary Carter. And Glenn Wilson, 67, is a base hit. And Kelvin Moore, 3-6. Homer 1-12. Let's take a look at this card, folks. Kelvin Moore. Who? 1981 Oakland A. 47 at-bats with a dinger, but you got to remember it's the strike year. So even though you see 47, you're going to see a lot of 1981 stats that are all over the place because of the short sample size. You're going to see some really bad performances and some really amazing ones. And then there's Kelvin Moore, which is sort of ordinary. Anyway, 255 with the Oakland A's. He would have been on Oakland's playoff team, the Billy Martin 81 Oakland A's. I think it was probably in a platoon with like Dave Revering or somebody like that. Maybe Wayne Gross. I don't know. 3-6, homer 1-12. It is gone. The Tigers now add to their lead. It's now 9-6. My goodness. Kelvin Moore? And it's Lance Parrish. 37, homer 1-7, double the rest. It is gone. The Tigers on another planet offensively today. Ron LaFleur. 35, double 1-14, gets the double. My goodness, Lou Whitaker with 2 outs. 6-10, catcher's X. And Gary Carter makes the play. But it's a 9-6 game. Havens will leave after 2 lousy innings after the 4 lousy innings by Sanderson. 9-6, the Tigers need a pitcher. They're going to go Pat Underwood in the 6th inning. He was an 80 Tiger, 3-6, 3.58 ERA. Is that the exact same stats as Brad Havens? Do we need to look this up? That would be really bizarre, wouldn't it? Would it not? 3.6, 358 for Pat Underwood. 3.6, 358 for Brad Havens. Has that ever happened before? My goodness, the pitchers have identical 1 loss in ERA. Innings is different. Havens threw 78 innings. Underwood didn't quite double that. Came close. He threw 113 innings. Really weird. Bottom of the 6th. It'll be Larry Parrish. 55, base hit. Batting for Brian Little. Rich Murray. Star of the World Series a year ago, if you watched that. This is Eddie Murray's brother, Rich Murray. 58, second X. This is Whitaker. This should be 2. No! Holy smokes! Check this result, folks. We got to chase the results on this, too. So, Whitaker's a 1E14 second baseman. The result up there is 1E4 second baseman kicks it. I'm sorry, Lou. Unless you're an E0, you're kicking that one, too. Anytime you see a really unusual result like that, it means a really low percentage was rolled. If you ever want to chase a result in the spreadsheet, you can. Go to fielding rating. Oh, there it is, right there. 3.42% when you roll the E rating. Not overall, just when you specifically roll the E rating, you then rolled a 3.42%, which gets you closer to the error again, unless you're an E0, when of course it's a 0%. But yeah. So a Lou Whitaker error at the worst possible time should have been a double play. Here come your Spos. They're the world champs. This would be world champion if they can. Is that a word? Sure. Yeah. Doug Flynn. Batting for Doug Flynn. It'll be Billy Sample. 2-1, nobody out. Bill Sample. 38 is a 6-4-3 double play. Oh my. All right, runner on third, 2 outs. It'll be Louis Gomez. As they empty their bench against the lefty. 5-10. Catcher's card. You could get a run on a pass ball, wild pitch off of our boy Lance Parrish. He's a 2E3 though. Almost there. He's a 2E3, not an E4. And it's a foul out, so the run doesn't score. Stays 9-6. And that's the entire Expo bench. They bring in Murray to play first, Gomez to play short, Sample to play left. Tim Raines has to move over to second base with Doug Flynn's missing. We go to the 7th, and here comes Mark Bombach out of the Expo bullpen. We're seeing them all, folks. Yeah, these are classics, folks. If you're not familiar with Mark Bombach, former New York Met, Toronto Blue Jay, 1981. 5.5, 3.90 ERA in 90 innings. The, in air quotes, righty who gets lefties out. So he will face Alan Trammell, who's perfect today. 47, no more EKs. Barry Evans, 65, 111-17, gets it. They got to bring the infield up for Steve Kemp. 2-6 RBI single. It's 10-6 Tigers. Reed Nichols, 2-5. Base hit center field. 2 on Glenn Wilson. 111 the 5-4-3 double play. But boy, these Tigers, they are just tearing it up. They're going to put Geronimo in the outfield. They have Cesar Geronimo on their team. They're going to put him in the outfield. Put him in center. All 2s. Now you got all 2s in the outfield. 1's at Trammell and Whitaker at second and short. With a 10-6 lead. Stretch time here in Lake Champlain. We've enjoyed listening to Reuben Wilson's 1970 Blue Mode. This is Orange Peel. Great record. They did knock on wood. Blue Mode. Reuben Wilson. Hear your wonderful stretch time music. Back to the game. Spos down 4. Pat Underwood's gone an inning. He'll continue. It'll be Tim Purple Raines. 35 is a walk. Now, you would steal, but you're down 4, and don't forget, Parrish, the other Parrish, has a -3 arm. Dondre Awesome homered last time up. 1-8. That is a base hit because you had to hold Raines on and shoots it through the hole. Runners in the corners, playing back for Al Oliver. 46, base hit right field. Dawson, 17 runner, won't try and go coast to coast against Glenn Wilson. It's 10-7. All right, we had enough of this. We've had some horrific pitching today, folks. The wild and wacky 1980-83 Fall League is getting off to a bang with 17 runs so far. Plenty of baseball left. The Tigers will bring Don Ossie out of their bullpen. Don was an angel in 81, 4-4, 2.35 ERA in 65 innings. We have first and second, nobody out. Your tie run is Gary Carter. 53, first C. Now you got runners at second and third for Warren Cromartie. 49's a walk, and the bases are loaded for Larry Parrish, playing back for double play. 53, first C. That'll get a run in. 10-8. Second and third, 2 outs, and it's Rich Murray. He doesn't hit righties very well. 37's a K. All right. 10-8 game. Can't. You know, it looks like it'd be pretty easy to bury the Expos today, but no. They came down back 4-0, made it 4-3. Then they came back 7-3, made it 7-6, 10-6, 10-8. I mean, they keep, doing their thing. Here's Kelvin Moore leading off in the 8th. Homered earlier. 56 is a walk. Lance Parrish. 2-5, that's a 6-4-3 double play. And with 2 outs, it's Ron LaFleur. 1-5 is a strikeout. All right, 10-8, bottom of the 8th. It'll be Billy Sample. 58, center. Louis Gomez. 2-6, pops short. Back up top to Tim Purple Rains. 47 off Ossie is a base hit, and with 2 outs, it's Andre Dawson. 2-8, another base hit off the infield. Shooting it through the hole where you're holding reins on. So now you have runners in the corners with 2 outs, and it's only Al Oliver. They do have a lefty Sparky Lyle, but he's a little past his prime. And, yeah, we're just going to let Ossie pitch to him. Runners in the corners, 2 outs. The pitch to Al Oliver. 2-9, grounds to second. It stays 10-8 in the 9th. All right, Baumback's gone. Rudy May will pitch the 9th inning. Rudy was an Expo. Also, Rudy May was an Angel, was a Yankee, was an Oriole, was an Expo. It was all sorts of things. And he's on in the 9th. And he will battle the top of the Tiger lineup. It'll be Lou Whitaker having a day. Been on 4 times. 67, double 1-7 is a base hit. Tremel's only been out once today. 3-11, flies to left. Barry Evans, 2-10, 5-4-3 double play. Bottom of the 9th. All right, here it is, folks. 10-8 game in the bottom of the 9th. The Tigers going to send Senior Smoke out there. Aurelio Lopez. 9-8 in 83 with a 2.81 ERA at 115 innings. Next year, he'll be 10-1, and he'll play second fiddle to Willie Hernandez, who gets the Cy Young and MVP on that stuff. Can the Tigers hold on to a 10-8 game? All their defense is in there. Bottom of the 9th, it'll be Gary Carter leading off. 6-11 off Lopez. Pitch Rex, can you field your position? You're an E13 pitcher. 2-E13. No, it's a base hit. Lopez can't make a play on it. They rule it a single. Should have ruled it an error. He mishandles the ball up the middle, and they rule it a single. And now their tie run is Warren Cromartie. 47 off Lopez, double 108. Here come the Poes again. It's a 2-base hit. The world champs. This is how you get to be world champs. Even, a year later, you still show that medal. We're not out of anything. Down 4-zip. Down 5-3. Down 7-3. Down 10-6. It's 10-8. The tying run is at second base. There's nobody out. And you got the winning run. Who would have thought? Is Larry Parrish. Here's the pitch to Larry. 110 for Parrish is a base hit in her right field. Carter scores. Cromartie will hold at third. You got a -3 arm of Glenn Wilson out there. Runners on the corners. Nobody out in a 10-9 game. And old Detroit, what have you done? You've gummed this all up. You've had 2 guys thrown out on the bases. You were literally running the Expos out of the Lake Champlain. They were sinking their kayaks and doing all sorts of horrible things. But now they got them right where they want them. Runners in the corners, nobody out. You got to bring the infield up. However, bad news. You got Rich Murray, Bill Sample, and Luis Gomez. 3 straight righties against Aurelio Lopez, who's outstanding versus righties. So here's the pitch to Rich Murray. 67 is a strikeout. And now you got Bill Sample. Let's take a look at him. Bill Sample was a Texas Ranger. We traded him to the Angels at one point, and now he ended up here. Nice card for him in 81, 283. Balanced. Lefty-righty doesn't phase him very much. Very symmetrical player. Good range. Not much of a throwing arm. Sometimes I think he was a double-A stealer one of the years. Big moment here, Bill Sample. Runners on the corners. They're bringing the infield up in a 10-9 game. And here's the pitch to Bill Sample. 1-9 is center B question mark. And this is Cromartie to tie the game. He's a 14, 15, 16, but you got Reed Nichols with a -3 arm. It's going to be a battle. Or it doesn't matter. You have Geronimo out there. He's got a -3 arm. Nichols is in right, -3. Glenn Wilson, -1 on left. Because they took Steve Kemp out. So it's a -3 arm. It's still a 13. Here we are. Here's the tag. Here's the plate. The plate. He needs a 13. And he's out on a 14. Look at that. The Tigers. They had 2 outfielders who could have done that. And it turned out Nichols started the game in center field. But then we brought in Geronimo, took out Kemp, moved Wilson to left, Nichols to right, and Geronimo in the center. He with a -3 arm, along with Nichols. And sadly, Cromartie gets gunned down at the plate. Wow. Let's just double check the math. He's a 14, 15, 16, -3 arm of Geronimo. Makes it a 13, rolls a 14. That is how it is done. My goodness. An 8-8-2 double play to end the game. And it's the Tigers. 2 guys thrown out on the bases. And dessert is served cold as the next Expo gets thrown out on the bases. Final score 10-9. Your winning pitcher is still Dressler. He never lost the lead. Lopez gets the save. Scott Sanderson gets the loss. The series is tied a game apiece. We'll have Game 5 in Detroit. We'll give you that result coming up, so stick around. All right, baseball fans, here is the box score of the game you just saw. The 10-9 victory for the Tigers. 10 runs, 22 hits, and the Tigers had to scratch and claw. I did say that, Tigers scratch and claw, just to get a W, because the Expos had 9 runs on 17 hits. Guys thrown out the plate, lots of offense, and a wacky baseball game off the heels of a 10-0 shutout. So that meant that the home and road team had done every combo after 4 games. Expos won on the road, Tigers won at home. Expos won at home, Tigers won on the road. So it's a Game 5 in Motown. Back to Game 1 starters. Low-scoring affair expected, not gotten. Steve Rogers, Jack Morse in this one. Spos get the scoring started in the 4th, a 2-run homer, Larry Parrish. Bottom of that inning, Reed Nichols, 2-run homer, 2-2. Top of the 5th, 2-run double Al Oliver, 4-2. Top of the 6th, it's single, 3-run homer, Al Oliver. 8-2, they chase Jack Morse. But give the Tigers some props. They come right back in the bottom of the inning off Rogers. Single, sac fly, double, single. It's an 8-5 game. They get a run off of Sparky Lyle out of the Tiger pen. Tim Stoddard, the Expo closer, comes on in the 8th for a 2-inning save. Pretty shaky. A walk and 3 singles and 2 runs. It's 9-7. But finally, it's over in the 9th. Oddly enough, in the bottom of the 9th, you have catcher's X, back-to-back catcher X's on Gary Carter, which is not, you have no shot there, and a strikeout to end the game. Stoddard does get the save, a 2-inning save. Expos won the 1st, 3rd, and 5th games. Tigers only won games 2 and 4. Spos win the series 3 games to 2. So when we look up at the big picture now, here we are. The Expos, well, 12-10. It's just, everything was magic a year ago. They're still right in there at 12-10, but they might have to look at the hard road of going through a wild card this year. It could very well be that they've passed the mantle of Cinderella to this Ohio Players team. We'll see how they do. Again, the beauty of this, whoever you're chasing, you get to play. Because the Ohio Players, well, they get to play Cleveland. Then after playing Cleveland, they get to play Detroit. Then after playing Detroit, they play the Expos. And that's how that's what they're going to have to do to hold on in this division there. But break up the Expos, your world champion Expos, at least for today. They've won the series in an attempt to defend their world championship. Thanks for checking out the Game of the Week. We'll see you next Saturday.